Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is not in favor of sending money to Ukraine. Well, that's kind of interesting, right? Look, I've been critical of sending, not necessarily to Ukraine, but sending weapons to other countries. A lot of leftists hold that same position as well. However, actually, before I get to that, I want to show you a video here. She was speaking with a Washington Post reporter who asked her this question about her votes on Ukraine aid. Take a look.
For those of you on the Republican side who've been opposing a lot of the Ukraine or Ukraine-related type of bills, I think there's been about 16 in the last few months. I think you voted against 15. You voted against a lot of them. So, in general, sort of, how do you decide how you're going to vote on those bills? And do you have an overall position and view on the war and what we should be doing or not doing?
I think it's terrible. I feel very sorry for the Ukrainian people, but I was elected to represent my district in Georgia for the United States of America. And right now our country's in crisis. Our border is out of control. Human trafficking, fentanyl, we have inflation out of control, gas prices out of control. I mean, it's baby formula. People cannot find baby formula with such a shortage. But our Congress is going to send $40 billion to some other country if they're doing, you know what we did today? We named post offices. So no, when this Congress wants to care about America and our people and do something with our people's tax dollars for our country and do the right things, then we can talk about other countries, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, hey, you know what? It is ridiculous that we're not using our own tax dollars to help the American people. Hey, she might be onto something, actually. Now, of course, some of the other stuff that she mentions, look, she talked about the invasion at our border, inflation, and a shortage of baby formula. Well, at least two of those things are actually real, so congratulations, you are 2/3 tuned into reality. Now, look, inflation, of course, driven by corporate greed. Again, numerous studies. If you don't even have to do a study. You can just look at profit margins that have exploded. See, you do have inflation because the cost of prices, things, materials to make goods, stuff like that, have increased. No doubt about that, right? The fact that these companies have gigantic profit margins, even after accounting for that increase in material costs, well, it shows you that they have raised their prices far beyond what it takes to manufacture and still get the same amount of profits that they had before. So that is definite corporate greed. Now, as far as the baby formula shortage, look, a whistleblower detailed how the company Abbott Laboratories refused to spend any money to fix their broken equipment, causing shipments of baby formula to actually be contaminated with Coronabacter bacteria. So they were shut down by the FDA. Instead of fixing that, they spent $5 billion on stock buybacks to increase shareholder profits. Corporate greed. Pure and simple. Now, is Marjorie Taylor Greene doing anything against corporate greed? Not that I've noticed. I haven't seen anything. Instead, she seems to be doing what all the Republicans in Congress do, blame everything on Joe Biden and immigrants, essentially. I mean, do you guys know how much goes out in foreign aid in a typical year? And I understand that this is not a typical year. But normally it's about less than 1% of the federal budget. So again, we ramped that up in giving aid to Ukraine to help them fight off the Russians. I get it. Now, still, the amount of foreign aid that normally is given out is actually, look, I would say it's fairly less than what we give out in corporate welfare every year in the form of tax breaks and subsidies. Well, I shouldn't say tax breaks, more like tax credits. So, again, not to mention how much we actually spend on the military, which a lot of it goes right into the defense contractor pockets. It's over $700 billion each year. Now, it's kind of weird how Republicans rail against the foreign aid, right? Which, and again, it's a very small amount of the budget. But at the same time, they continue to vote to give the military more and more money, even though it's not really necessary. I mean, it tells to me that they would rather spend money to bomb other people in other countries, than feed them. They would rather bomb than feed. Okay, now, funny enough, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she said, I'm against, giving money to Ukraine because I think that money should be spent here. Well, look, I'm all about increasing domestic spending. I'm all about helping, using tax dollars to help the average American person, the average worker. So now you would think then that if you held that position, then you might be in favor of renewing the child tax credit. Very, very popular, especially in red states. Very popular. Very helpful to a lot of families, right? Child tax credit. How about being in favor of some of the provisions in Build Back Better? For example, childcare, universal paid leave, lowering prescription drug prices. All these things, very, very popular with even Republicans, broad swaths of the American people. So what did she vote for on that? Right, she joined every single other Republican in blocking those bills. Weird. That's very, very strange. Very strange. And by the way, during a campaign event in Rome, Georgia, here's what she said about welfare to the average person.
And they're moving further into those programs of socialism. They want to pay for child care. They want to have a living wage. And these are things that are never going to solve problems. Actually, no one will have any reason to go to work. And that's going to cripple our country, and it's going to cause more problems. I am opposed to all of that. I am firmly opposed to, yes, welfare does have a purpose and a place. And there are times people have really hard times in life and definitely need it. But we need to have a program in place where they get moved off. Generational welfare has been horrific, and the communities that it has affected has done nothing for them but cause, it's why does a woman need to be married if she can be married to the government and keep getting a government check?
You hear that, ladies? I mean, why take checks from the government when you could just get married? Really? Obviously, yeah, you have to get married. Yeah, this is the same woman that says that women are the weaker sex. I didn't say that. She said that. And so apparently she cares so much about the average American person that she would like to not spend $40 billion on Ukraine and also not spend it on people here in the United States. Huh. Oh, interesting. Now, look, Marjorie Taylor Greene's full of crap. We know that. And we also know that she's a hypocrite. 2 days before slamming these profitable wars, right? And that was before the Russian invasion of Ukraine. She actually bought thousands of dollars in Lockheed Martin stock. Meaning that every time that somebody buys a weapon from Lockheed Martin, Marjorie Taylor Greene makes a little bit of money. Every time their stock goes up for future conflicts, she makes money. Interesting how that works, right? No, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a complete and total liar. And if you're on the left, by the way, and you listen to her, saying, oh, we shouldn't send money to Ukraine. Oh, base Marjorie Taylor Greene, yeah. You're being duped. You're being duped. She does not care at all about helping working people, about helping average people, or being against the military-industrial complex, because she is making money from it. So wake up.